Our Europe editor, Catherine Nicholson, is in Brussels for us today as well, and she's covering that EU summit. Catherine, this is an EU summit, as I say, but the US leader, Joe Biden, is attending. Is that unusual?
It is very unusual indeed. You're quite right, Nadia. Joe Biden following on from the NATO and G7 meetings and coming here to speak to just the 27 leaders of the EU's member states. Of course, not all of them are members of NATO, so there's an opportunity to get the neutral members of the European Union around the table with Joe Biden as well. The US president due to speak to them at around 4:30 p.m. local time here in Brussels. That's right at the start of the meeting, and as you say, it's a very unusual move. Another non-EU member who's going to be speaking to the leaders here, the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. All this, of course, testament to how much this summit is dominated by Russia's war on Ukraine. The broad questions that the leaders are going to be asking each other is how to increase their support for Ukraine. They're all united in agreeing they want to increase support, and how much and in which means. So political support, financial support, material support, humanitarian support, and support to Ukrainian refugees and those who are hosting them. More discussions as well on the broader issues, including energy. The leaders of the EU's 27 member states agreed 2 weeks ago at an informal summit in Versailles that they do want to phase out their use of Russian oil, gas and coal. Today they're going to be looking into the details of how quickly and how much will that cost them and their citizens at a time, of course, when there is a cost of living crisis across the continent. As I said, this summit dominated by Ukraine, but it's not entirely about Ukraine. There are other issues on the table as well, including the COVID-19 pandemic, the European economy and EU foreign relations, particularly with China and Bosnia-Herzegovina.
Catherine, there's been some news out of the G7 summit today where we're hearing that that body is to sanction Russian gold. Should we expect any kind of similar measure from the EU today?
Well, it's hard to know what to expect in terms of sanctions. It's very mixed messages coming out depending which member state you're hearing from. As the leaders have been arriving here at the summit, they've been giving their short comments, doorsteps, as we call them here. And Mark Rutte, for example, the Dutch Prime Minister, said he doesn't expect there to be any firm decision on new sanctions. So he was joined in that message by the Luxembourgish Prime Minister Xavier Bettel. When you look further east in the continent, though, it's a very different story. Poland, the Baltic states, which of course were formerly occupied by the Soviet Union, taking a much harsher line. They want more sanctions. They want Russian energy to be sanctioned, something that's very valuable, of course, to Russia, but of course would pose problems to EU member states as well. The French Europe minister said earlier this week that if Russia is not showing signs of striving down a path towards peace, then there should be more sanctions, but he didn't go into more detail than that. Germany, even more hesitant still, saying that if there were to be sanctions on that valuable Russian energy sector, then they would have to be decided with great care and with great deliberation. My sense is that we're not going to get any big announcements about sanctions out of this summit, but of course there is a lot to discuss, and the summit spreading across 2 days.
Catherine Nicholson, thank you very much indeed.